Hey guys! This is the first episode in a series where I try to introduce somewhat underrated anime that newer anime fans might not have seen before. There's no real theme for this episode, so I just picked out 4 shows that I really wanted to talk about. Not to say that these shows are super unpopular, but because of the way that seasonal shows work, some people might not have found these if they're just looking at new upcoming seasons. Even for me, I didn't even watch most of these shows during the season they aired, but I am glad that I went back and watched them since they're really fun. The first great anime you might not have heard of is a show called Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. For this show, I think it was basically introduced to me by a Tumblr post after the show finished airing. As one Tumblr user by the name of My OTP List describes, the title is literally about ramen, the story is actually concerning baseball, and the characters are in fact hitmen. This is a great description of the show, and nothing about this quote is incorrect. Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens is a light novel adaptation similar to Durarara and Bakano, and these comparisons are appropriate because it starts out as a somewhat disjointed story. The first episode has events in non-linear order, with the whole cast introduced at once, but then it eases into a comedy, drama, slice-of-life show about Bamba Zenji and all of his friends who are hitmen or involved with the Hakata crime scene. Most of the cast is on the same community baseball team, and they take it pretty seriously. I wouldn't want to spoil where the story goes since it's got plenty of twists and turns, but it's primarily a comedy with an interesting cast of characters. Part sports anime, part Bakano crime show, Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens is a heartwarming tale of found family. The next show you might not have heard of is called Chiyo-chan no Tsugakuro, otherwise called Chiyo-chan School Road. In the summer anime season of 2018, there were plenty of highly anticipated shows such as Attack on Titan Season 3, Banana Fish, Cells at Work, Gintama, and Overlord. Even for the comedy genre, Grand Blue and Asobi Asobase were some of the most well-regarded shows that were airing during the same season. In such a highly packed season up against these juggernauts, there was an adaptation of a comedy manga called, the name of the show. It's a story about a normal girl named Miyamo Chiyo and her ongoing adventures during her walk to school. The full 12 episodes of the anime take place only within the approximately 30-minute time frame of her morning commute, and this tight focus lends itself to the absurd humor that ensues. The show is most similar to daily lives of high school boys, as the humor stems from the relatable but ridiculous situations an anime high schooler might find themselves in. And to make things even more hilarious, Chiyo is a hardcore gamer. Although nerdy, it's the bizarre ways she applies video game logic to things in the real world that makes this show refreshing. This show manages to catch you off guard easily with references to real video games in offbeat situations, all within the confines of the setting. Although short, 12 episodes is the perfect length for this show, as it doesn't outstay its welcome. The third show that you might not have heard of is called Jinri wa Suikai Shimashita, otherwise known as Humanity Has Declined. While the last show on the list was a relatable comedy, this anime is an over-the-top, mind-bending experience. In a world where a green apocalypse is taking place, humans are slowly dying out. Content with not bothering to fix the problem, they continue living normal lives alongside their cute, hamster-sized fairies. Based on an acclaimed light novel of the same name, Jinrui follows the life of the female main character. Referred to as watashi, which just means I in Japanese, she becomes an arbitrator between the races. While slowly revealing bizarre details about the world, the show manages to keep the viewer's interest with amusing references to real life, including commentary on human society. There's no other show like it, and I think that's what makes it a worthy show to recommend. For the final show on this list, I'm torn about how to convince you to give this show a try. The show is called Punchline. On one hand, talking about the summary and the general show details might appeal to some fans who are interested in a slightly ecchi, slightly harem-ish setting of the main character living in the same apartment with 4 cute girls, while trying to deal with the super big, bad apocalypse in the show. On the other hand, that's not really what drew me into the show in the first place, and to reveal the information I'm about to tell you is slight spoilers for the show. If watching the trailer is enough to make you want to watch the show right now, I'm begging you to leave so that you can watch the show unspoiled. But if you're like me and needed a little bit more convincing, stick around to hear what I have to say. Punchline is written by Uchikoshi Kotaro of Zero Escape, Isomnium Files, and World's End Club fame. For those of you who have played the Zero Escape series, or really any of the games written by this man, you will 100% know why just his name on the writing credits is a huge spoiler. Uchikoshi, as a writer, loves to use tropes like mistaken identity, time travel, in-depth explorations of philosophy, and reincarnation tropes to mess with the viewer's expectations of the story. This anime plays with all of these tropes in spades, and just knowing that much isn't enough to ruin the twists and turns in the story. I miss watching this anime and the season it came out in, but after playing Zero Escape in 2016, I eventually went back to watch the show, simply knowing that I was in for a wild ride. And now that I've seen it for myself, I think it's a great hidden gem for people who might be a little tired of the same anime genres coming out each season. I know that most people can think of anime as super formulaic, and it can be to a certain degree, but there are actually great, interesting shows out there that really test the limits of storytelling. Sometimes, even if they're super tropey, they do a good job of making it fresh with new and entertaining twists. I know it would be impossible for me to have watched so many shows and to keep being interested in the medium if it was always just the same shonen, isekai, and high school rom-com anime that came out every season. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you in another video.